I'm in the back of the building trying to see this paper. I need a snack for my children plus a meal for later.
Whoa. Had to figure that one out. SW, Smell Goods, Peace, Peace, The Bar. Shasim. Yeah, y'all see the, what's your name? This is the stuff that the brother sent me from, this is the stuff the brother sent me that got the farm. Seaborn Asiatic, 793rd, Universal 7, Divine Truth. Alright. I think the alerts might be working. Yeah, the brother in Louisiana. Look, he got, my picture started working again today. You see that right there? That's the property. Rafael Stratura. Yeah, that's the property right there that he do the planting. But yeah, he sent me a whole bunch of pictures of the stuff he be having. Like this one. Check this one out right here coming up. Yeah, he got mad. He got the knowledge to do a lot of things. Definitely producing. Yeah, he got all type of stuff to buy. We gotta get busy. And you know, I was just at the supermarket yesterday, and I'm telling you, the stuff in there is starting to go bad. It ain't like it was a couple days ago. Watermelons over there to the side. Wise you. Yeah, definitely utilizing the best part. Which, you know, that blends in with we about to deal with today Jassim said even on the breadbasket, or even in the breadbasket, shelves are starting to look a little empty. Yeah, out there too in the corn country. Yeah, you can tell they down to the nitty gritty. So what's the science, man? Looks like the What Did I Miss crew is pretty big today. I don't know if we should wait for them. I kind of like the way we flow right into things recently. But how y'all drawing this up right here? See, I'm already pretty sure where y'all going. But we got some people in here that know the 140. The boss said God borns his wisdom equally in the earth. Musa D, we was just talking. I was just saying how the meat at the supermarket is starting to go bad. Like everything at the supermarket, even when you walk through the vegetable section, the produce or whatever, it's got a funny smell over there. I just got some stuff out the frozen. I got some junk food, man. I might have to go up top where they got the live animal. They got the chickens right there. But I got to see how much. I'm not gonna be processing no meat like that. I got to see how much they make it, like how I need it. He Kareem, born Allah, Queen Mecca. So yeah, we going into the science right here. I eat fish, but the fish situation is pretty bad now too because they've depleted all the natural stocks of fish. Mostly all the fish you see right now is farm fish. So I'm still working out what I'm gonna eat in terms of fish. You know what I'm saying? Then they got the new salmon. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's been approved by the FDA where they mix a regular salmon with the DNA of some other fish that grows faster and bigger. Most of the fish, if you get fish and it's not farmed, then it comes from like Japan or China, where they don't have laws where they care. Like they don't care if they kill whales. They don't care, you know what I'm saying, if they, squids and all this stuff like that. They don't care if all the fish in the sea disappear. You know what I'm saying? The environmental stuff is looser. But then at the same time, it's harder to tell what you're getting from over there. So, yeah, I eat fish. I eat turkey. You know, they got some turkeys walking around on Staten Island. They might be in trouble soon. Small farms, right? You know, I just went to plant some of my stuff. I just went to plant some of my stuff on Friday, on the Knowledge Day. I put down the first of my little crops, but yeah, you see the pictures right here. These is from the brother in Louisiana that I was telling you about. We got to find a way to get this stuff to the cities where the guys is at. Christopher Gooden, Scientific Allah. Scientific say grafted live germs is devil. Christopher Gooden, you knew. Where you from? Where you from, Christopher Gooden? Mushadiq said no old guys that fish up there. Yeah, but the water is still the water. I'm not eating that, not that water. Not the water up here. You know. It's actually, if I'm not mistaken, there's some type of regulation. Like, it's not like a law. Like, I don't think you could be arrested. But it's some kind of thing, like it's some kind of recommendation or something where you're not supposed to eat more than like 2 fish meals within a given period of time if you get it from the waters in New York State. You know, I still remember when you used to drive on the like the FDR, and it'd be tires and stuff floating in the East River. I mean, we don't get our water out of the East River, but that's besides the point. If you're gonna go fishing, all that water right there is mingling. You know, these industrial states, you know, up here in the Northeast, you gotta remember they spent 100 years putting all types of chemicals and stuff in the water. You know what I'm saying? But they got that stuff in there now. They said make your estrogen rise up and all that. 793rd said you can still order from certain places like Omaha Steaks. Born you true, it may be a touch more expensive. It might be. Stu Lennon said they're still going strong. Wild salmon from Omaha. Kareem said, what about farmers markets? I gotta see if that's still jumping off. They got a farmers market. Well, you know, the most popular one in New York is on 14th Street. But with the rules about social distancing, I don't know if they popping. D. Christian said fruits and veggies looking nice, health as well. Yeah, that's from the brother in Louisiana that they were saying got the farmland. You know, I'm trying to devise a way where we could get this stuff out to all the cities where we need it right now. I mean, it don't, you know, this stuff got to be grown and all of that. You know, it's got to be a whole plan, but Divine Truth said the Hudson River is polluted. They were dredging PCBs in the water. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, that PCB and phthalates, or however you pronounce that stuff. You know what I'm saying? 793rd said watercolor down here is different. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you look at that water, you like, nah, I'm not. You know. Mushadiq said, I heard a program about the meat that they're trying to donate a lot of beef because it's going bad. Hey, man, I'm telling you. I guess the meat is the only thing that the price, it may drop on temporarily. 793rd said some farmers markets is delivering. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I got to get one of those numbers. Jasim said we got like 5+ lakes in the city proper, a river and some creeks, and you shouldn't eat nothing from any of them. Shouldn't even swim. You out there, don't speak negatively on Lake Minnetonka. That's one thing we're not going to do on the Random Juice channel, is speak negatively about the purifying waters of Lake Minnetonka. Christopher Gooden said he's from Pomona, California, Power Cipher. Nevertheless, I refed in Jefferson City, Missouri, Justice Cipher. That's peace though, man. Shout out to Pomona and Jefferson City, Power Cipher and Justice Cipher. What's going on in Justice Cipher? That's one of those type of places where I gotta ask you, do y'all have the first 9 born of Justice Cipher already? 793rd so also heard some factories are good, born you truth. Worker sickness is pushing things back. That will make the meat go bad. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. That's what I've been hearing. Kareem said these vegetable stands by me get their fish shipped from Guyana, the land of many waters, but don't know how long they have it after they get it. Yeah, where you at? Down in you down in Flatbush? Yeah, I have to tell you, that's one thing, man. That I don't even is that Flatbush over there? What street is that? There's a street where it's nothing but fruit and vegetable stands. Whole bunch of Asians, man. In the desert, yeah, they got the desert. They got some stands too. It's so many of them that you end up they gotta have good stuff, because there's so many of them. The competition, you can't be over there with, you know what I'm saying? Like certain places where there's not a lot of fruit and vegetables, they can get away with anything. They sell you an orange, but the orange is like yellowish. It's not orange. D. Christian said a lot of hybrid and grafted foods are in a lot of products and stores. All right, Kareem. The bar said God borns his wisdom equally by seeing who she is and showing and proving the teachings based on her nature so that she reflects it in her person. Yeah, let's get back to that too. Yeah, knowledge is a lie. That's how we started going on this tangent right here. As I was saying, that the food in the supermarket is starting to go bad. Yeah, I was just saying that yesterday. I just got some frozen stuff. I got some frozen junk food out of the frozen section, because it wasn't I was good. Kareem said her Nelly and the Saint Lunatics had knowledge. I know they've been exposed to knowledge. There's a brother amongst them that has the knowledge. Like in the Saint Lunatics I'm talking about, one of the members got the knowledge. I don't know about all of them, but clearly if he got the knowledge, they've all been exposed to it. 793rd said that Ali is the brother. Universal said it's Ali too. I don't know the brother personally, but I seen him. D. Christian said they closing down pork facilities. I heard that too, and it was one of the things where it's like, it's not that I'm a Mr. Pork, but that's going to make the price of all meat go up. It's one of them things. Premier Partner Networks, peace to the God. Christopher Gooden said there's firstborns in Power Cipher, not in Justice Cipher. I will honor your challenge to teach 10 in Justice Cipher, definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, that's what, if you the first man to touch down, then that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? You got to plant the flag in that part of the planet Earth. Power of Allah is Ali from Saudi. That's his name. All right. So let's get down to business on this 7,926 before y'all take me on it, because y'all side rally me. We'll be straight into next week. That should be happening. See, that's how you find out about time. But that's another, we deal with that. We deal with, we'll deal with that on Equality Day. Or matter of fact, on the God Day, we'll deal with that. When we deal with time. SW. Whew. I'm gonna try to keep this family oriented, SW. But that's a certain, I certainly can't deny you here. Man, I keep telling y'all, man, look, I'm trying to be Hotep here. The Christians should stay away from the New York fish. They probably got some old red and blue tops in their intestinal tract with bits of asbestos, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, used latex, and human body parts. You know what I'm saying? Tommy Robinson. Heaven on earth. Man, you guys, man. Anyone else, man? Is Queen Mecca still in the room? Yeah, microplastics, all that stuff. Yeah, tilapia is all farm grown. That's what I'm saying. Like, I actually got to do some research on fish. I got to do some research on it. What you mean, Kareem? Is he renting it out to other people, or is he renting it himself? Jasim said in my lessons it spells out 7,926 miles. What would be the significance to that? Teaching you how to spell. Ah, man. This is this some special kind of smoke day? Oh yeah, I don't know. He might be he easy to get in touch with. He puts his information on everything. That you could get some consecrated, some blessed land. But what's one thing, right, off top that we can see that's unique about this 7,926 miles? Anyone? Bueller? P said diameter will F up your life if you let it mess around. And she got you saying diameter is 6,927. You see what it is with you, you know. I try to tell y'all, man, y'all Tommy, y'all like a whole bunch of Tommies, man. Tommy Robinson said God shows and proves through equality. All right, so let me let's start with that right there. See, one thing that's unique, right, about the 7,926, right, is that all the other measurements deal with just the surface. Did you notice that? See, all the other measurements deal with just the surface. Wise you said the best part of the earth is to live to see her in tune with her true self. Gotta build her to be the planet Earth by acknowledging God. 7,926 times pi. You see this, if that's like a sidebar, but if you look at the mathematics to pi, you look at the mathematics to pi, you know what I'm saying? You see, it tells you a little bit about what we was dealing with yesterday and a little bit about what we dealing with today. The boss said dia means through, matter is the matter, diameter. Christian said, I was sad when I found out tilapia was no good. Yeah, that's... You see, SW, we're gonna do, this is... Let me quickly take this in another direction. Now, what happens, right, when you dig beneath the surface of the earth, right, is that you find out it's layers upon layers. D. Christian said, on a knowledge culture degree in 1 and 14, this live may be above my head. No, it's not above your head. Why saying what's going on? You see that it's layers upon layers. You know what I'm saying? And depending on how you looking at it, like right now, if you Google how many layers it is on the planet Earth, right, it'll tell you it depends on how you're looking at it. If you look at it this way, it's got a certain amount of layers. If you look at it that way, it's got another kind of amount of layers. So it's not as simple as we make it. See, when you just say, well, it just matters, yeah, that's what's happening on the surface. But check this out. Once you go through the earth, right, you go down. And you see that it's layers upon layers, right? What about the atmosphere of the planet Earth? When you go up, you see that it's layers upon layers too. So you got layers, like I said, depending on who you ask. Depending on who you ask, and how you're looking at it, you got layers from the core to the exosphere. Daniel Addison. See, this is the wisdom equality. You know what I'm saying? When you say God is born through the wisdom equality, do you know what the wisdom equality is? It's layers upon layers. Now look, it's layers upon layers on the sun too. But the same thing is happening pretty much on every layer. Just hotter and hotter. While Son said, I memorized the first and second degree in the 1 to 14 today. Took me 3 days. I'm working on the understanding degree today. I mean, that's a fair pace. That's a fair pace right there. You have it down pat in no time. The Christian said he don't want no smoke. I'm supposed you speaking on with my 15% female viewership that I'm up to now. Is there a difference in the perimeter in the area? Yeah, the perimeter for the earth, the perimeter for a circle is the circumference. That's a specific kind of perimeter. But I got a question. Here's a question. There's so many hot scientists that I always have in the room. Does anyone know what is the highest point of the exosphere? The exosphere is the highest level of the Earth's atmosphere. How high does the exosphere go up? Tommy Robinson said the diameter shows and proves the world is round. Well, everything that we speaking on, when I'm speaking, we speaking from a global Earth. I'm not too well versed with flat Earth. I'm not not a supporter of the theory. SW said it says 6,200 what from the Earth's surface, according to Google analysis. 6,200 miles. 6,200 miles from the Earth's surface. Would that be approximately 6? Or am I off? Is my math off right there? Approximately 6, right? I don't make this stuff up, man. I just report it. I don't make this stuff up. I just report it, man. So see, like I said, this is the wisdom's equality. I don't want to get all, I don't want to support y'all with this Tommy Sotomayor stuff. K Black C Supreme said I just learned something. But I see that's what I aim to do daily. SW said I just learned it myself from the question. So see, you got all these different layers, right? Yeah, exosphere. The layers of the earth is from the core to the exosphere. Meaning the core of the earth under the ground. Daniel Addison said, isn't it like that of a vacuum? Dr. Degenstein said the exosphere is 120,000 miles. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, when you in the exosphere, yeah, you know, air pressure is the weight of all the atoms in the air. So yeah, the higher you go up, the less pressure it's gonna be. Same thing in the water. Yeah, everybody can check out the comments right here to see some other factual information brothers is bringing in reference to the exosphere. So I'm saying, how many people, right, have been teaching this science? Because see, if this was some science, right, if this was some science dealing with the black man, everybody would have known that already. See, like when I ask how fast you got to travel to escape the Earth's gravitation, Everybody knew that was 7 miles per second. Everybody knew that was 25,000 miles per hour. But that's what I'm saying, is that the teachings, the same way we dig in and don't take things on face value, that means we don't just look at it on the surface for what it looked like or what it sounds like. Because that's how much complexity is actually there. See, because even on each level, you got to do the knowledge to the depth of what it actually is. Meaning, like, listen, if you just look at one layer, like the clouds and all of that, that's basically in what they call the troposphere. That's the layer we in right now. That's the layer that touches the surface and it goes up, 5 to 6 miles, a little bit more. But even within there are some layers of current that are real cold. Some are warm, and some are very swift and changeable. The temperature of the water and the temperature of the land and the temperature of the air can be all different. The way an atom behaves, the way it interacts with other atoms, may be different depending on which layer it's in. If it's at the core, it's going to react and interact one way. But if it's in the ionosphere, then it's going to react another way. As W said, there's no limit of study for us. And this is what I'm saying. Us includes them, meaning the black woman. Jasim says, so we got to study from 35 to 50 to understand the Earth's complexity, or is it more like searching for trillions? That's interesting. That's interesting. Because these, that is what happens. That is what happens. What is this? Eggs right here. Some brothers, they submit. They go under the studies so that they can go and do trading amongst the women. And some brothers, they search for trillions of years and they never find the answers. They never find the answers. Which the answer is, let me tell you something. This is a difficult level. This is high level stuff right here. Because here's the reality. Women don't even understand all these levels. Which Queen Mecca? We don't have none of our sisters in the room right now. state of the art. Yeah, see, Queen Mecca is right here. Now look. Yeah, de-Christian. Yeah, we have to tread lightly. We have to tread lightly, without question. But Queen Mecca, how many books and magazine articles, right, do they write that's directed at women, right, about why does a woman feel one way, but she makes decisions another way? Or why a woman knows that something is bad for her, but, down in her core, her heart still keeps her attracted to that thing. Fly phrase came in. Daniel Addison said, once you rid yourself of the poorest part, you're preserving the best part for self, which is a cultivated woman. My son said, the lessons bring you into life. Yeah, the lessons is a kind of roadmap. It's a blueprint, to demonstrate who you are. It's not going to cause you to be, somebody or somebody else. But it's a roadmap that could show you who you are. K Black C Supreme says she is lacking that balance. Yeah. Some women, we're not talking about all women, you know what I mean? Certain women that's not in tune with themselves. Queen Mecca says she don't read that kind of thing. I think women use emotions, but if you're not out of balance, you know how not to become overly emotional. Not all women are the same. Yeah. But if you don't, look, it's the same thing for a brother. Where if you don't have knowledge of certain things, you don't even have knowledge of what it is that you're doing that's harmful or how it's harmful, then it manifests itself in destructive ways. Fly Phrase said, where the watermelon's at, I haven't seen an oblong watermelon and I don't know how long. Just them baby round GMO seedless joints they sell everywhere. This is in Louisiana. We was talking one time on live about who got farmland, like this situation and everything started, it was a demonstration that we don't have very much food security. So when we started talking about it, we ended up speaking up this brother right here. And this is from his farm in Louisiana. So right now we seeing if, we could put our heads together and if we got enough resources to, get our own kind of food supply chain there. You know what I'm saying? Queen Mecca said, I'm too submissive usually, but if the man seems weak, my strength increases to balance his weakness, but never think I'm taking the place of men. You see? You see? Layers upon layers. Ah, man. SW. Daggers. Kareem said, stop feeding original people seedless fruit. Queen Mecca said, what makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes? I know if I'm out of balance, but improper environment makes it difficult for me, especially if I go too far from the source. The mind detect mind works with me. But yeah, if the 93 million miles from the sun is the perfect environment for the earth. You know what I'm saying? If you leave that point where you're born in understanding, then yeah, things is going to become difficult. See, SW, this is, I'm trying to guide this thing in a direction. It comes to SW. I've seen it done all the time. It's a lot of emasculation that has transpired over the years. Which that's a valid issue. While as you said you must do your research, 120 is the science of everything in life. There are 24 scientists. So there are plenty of studies to keep you building to be born in this good time. Jasim said, I'm just starting to read that the moon plays a huge part in stabilizing the earth. Yeah, we spoke on why the moon is on our flag before. K Black C Supreme says some brothers are more emotionally immature than sisters. Yeah. All in the business said the science of everything in life is love, peace, and happiness. Kareem said from supreme alphabets alone, you can build libraries in your homes. Yeah, K Black Seed, we was speaking on that the other day, is that people are raised to be adolescents in this day and time. Like, at one time, people was raised to be young men and women. See, even in terms, look, a person could be, even people, look, 50 is the new 40, 40 is the new 30, 30. You understand what I'm saying? The kind of propaganda, you know what I'm saying, and the marketing to everybody is for juvenile behavior. because we could also take what we say, to every situation that you're dealing with. You know, we know our history is based on the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? So, there's layers to everything that we dealing with like that. To every situation, every circumstance, every cipher. That when we weighing and judging things, we got to be able to look on every one of those levels. K Black C Supreme said the double school system. School is a big thing. See, here's something about school though. That it's the stuff it's the indoctrination, right, of the school system, but it's also the indoctrination of the friend system. So all of that right there got to do with the education. That's where all the marketing and all the stuff that they showing to the youth, the stuff that they making, the fads and the fashions. The business says socialization. Yeah, that's the word. Daniel Addison said he loves the devil because the devil gives him nothing. What's this here? So we didn't get, it doesn't look like we only had Queen Mecca in here today. But y'all brothers need to know what I'm saying too. Cause how else y'all gonna teach it? See, like I said, when you don't know that all these sciences is right inside 120, that's when you start reaching for the other sciences. That's when you gotta pull some other science from over here, that doesn't coincide with what we teaching. Kareem said, I believe the devil's school system is corrupt like anything else, but nonetheless still a tool to be successful and used against them like they use everything against us. Like I said, understand and build, is very important. To understand what you build, so that it don't destroy you. Understand, what you can build. What's the level that you can take certain things to? You know what I'm saying? School is about a certain amount of freedom in society. You know what I'm saying? So you can have a lot of money. Let's say, you El Chapo. But there's still certain limits to what you could do in society because of how you get your money. See, school is about you being able to move through, how much school you uh, 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 been through, how much school you mastered is how many different doors in society you will be able to walk through. You understand what I'm saying? It's not about education, smartness, or none of that. School is just some place. Like, even if you just go there and you discover that you're real good at basketball, it's still something that enables you now. You could walk through all the doors in society. Like LeBron James, he could walk through all the doors of society. And, just in general, like I said, without, freedom, whoever is in control of that restriction, if you're not free in whatever way, whoever is in control of that restriction, you a part of their culture. At least to that degree, you a part of their culture. They see you in the penitentiary, the certain way of life. Look, you're gonna get up at this time and eat. You're gonna lock in at this time. That's their culture that they imposing on you. All in the business says he likes the devil, but he likes the devil, but he loves the hell. The hell is what the devil gives him. He looks at the devil and knows not to mess with him because the devil planted that fear. However, that same man will continue to watch the wrong foods or continue to eat the wrong foods. Yeah, I mean, the devil is a bad devil. People is definitely, the indoctrination is extremely strong right now. Kareem said, I don't know if it was the father's mandate or opinion to get education or trade, but I feel like he knew what it would take to make leaders. And also, it's the first law of nature is self-preservation. You know what I'm saying? So, if you don't have no means to deal with self-preservation that's righteous, you're going to resort to means that's unrighteous. You know what I'm saying? And that was a part of, what Allah was doing. By that time, the early 60s, the jaws of the beast was already opening. You know what I'm saying? And, for those that was wise enough, they could tell that, the babies is about to get eaten up. So, in terms of leadership skills, he was already teaching us that. But just in terms of, how to build a community and, all the different people that, when we talking about we got a way of life, people got to have different skills that we put together. Like right now, on the screen or whatever, that farming, that's a certain skill. House building, whatever the certain things is, you got to remember that, even going back to Booker T. Washington, that was a part of the reasoning for you to gain these skills and trades, was so that, you could use those skills and trades to build our society. Asiatic mathematics. Peace said every situation, good or bad, is an opportunity to study, learn, and teach. K Black C Supreme said 120 is the compass to get maximum benefits from the school. He Kareem said my alphabet says I, not Islam. SW said a trade you can work for hire as to the extent of what you learn of said trade instead of having to depend on discriminatory circumstances. It was so that we can work towards having a self-sustaining system of resources, especially during those times he was physically here. I mean, whether he here or not. If you don't have any skills or a trade, right, how could you be an asset to the community? Allah didn't like bums. So, that was a part of, at least, you got to remember, this is all something that's happening. Like I said, adolescence, right? If you look it up, adolescence is a category that was made in the 1950s. In the post World War II era is when they came up with adolescence. You had a lot of street kids, and it had always been that way. Especially in New York City, right? Because, New York City having the type of immigration that you had in New York City, in the pre-World War II era, right? Calm Islamically. You had a lot of people that came from, whatever country they came from Italy to Puerto Rico to, and when they got here, if they had certain kids that was old enough, they was like, look, you on your own. Like even those, those gangs that a lot of the kids that they ended up being in the mafia, the Italian mafia, a lot of them started out as those kinds of kids. You had child labor, dudes that, at 15 years old, you was a veteran on the job. Yeah, I noticed a little discrepancies on the technical. But like I was saying, these categories that, you know, it's a specific category out there of people that need help. You know, the you know, gangs, if you notice, gangs always take off after a war. Like the Prohibition era, you know, the Italians and all of that popped off after World War One. Even going back, Jesse James and all of them, the bank robbing era, the stagecoach robbing era, all of that popped off after the Civil War. After World War II, you got the biker gangs. And along with the biker gangs, you got a lot of the little adolescent street gangs spark back up. What's happening? Am I on? It's choppy. Yeah, I got no idea what's going on because it says it's green over here. It says it's green over there, but I keep seeing it cutting in and out. So where did I cut off at? Where did I cut off? I was talking about the after the different wars.
It's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, after the wars, well, it looks like I cut off at different people at different times. But I'm gonna just pick up out, you know. But and then after Vietnam, right? After Vietnam, you get another resurgence with the gangs. You know what I'm saying? After the first Desert Storm, that's when you get the East Coast Bloods and Crips and all of that. Whenever there's a war, there's always a spike in gang activity right after that. So kind of that post-World War II spike is what a lot of the young brothers was dealing with at that time. See, a lot of that juvenile, the juvenile system, the juvenile penitentiary system was made by Eleanor Roosevelt. So this kind of pipeline, you know what I'm saying, where they was starting to send the young black kids to jail, right? To get rid of them, to warehouse them off of the street because, they was already starting to outsource. It was already, by the 50s and the 60s, you already had the first plants closing down and all that. So they was already starting this system where this is what we doing with the young. And having a job or a trade, having skills, going to school, this was a way to avoid that fate. I don't know if I got cut off somewhere. Y'all got a question y'all got to ask. We lost some people here whenever we got cut. Whatever happened. I think some people got kicked off. We still here? I must have hit a bad topic. I must have hit a topic that's not approved. They kicked the dude off. They kicked the guy that's he's always talking about the Queen of England. The Queen of England is a lizard, a reptile. L. Lowry. Peace said, this is the only time they can cut out wisdom. Yeah, that's him. David Icke. They kicked him off of YouTube. Told him he can't even come back. Like, he can't even start a new channel and come back. Yeah, you gotta have some skills to be of aid in the community. That's one thing, that modern society, even righteous nations, all this teaching everybody they're king. But, right now, at least in New York City, we seeing the value, of certain people. Like, the people who clean the subway, for instance. We seeing the value of those people. A lot of little things that we take for granted, right? When you go to get a haircut, when, you go to the supermarket, these are things that we take for granted. We've never really had to deal with no trials and tribulations over them in our lifetime. See, SW said the Uber and the Uber Eats folks, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you would start seeing, the important people that make the society go. See, like I said, we could talk and deal with the concept of, building our own nation. And you can say, yeah, the devil control this, and this is the devil this, and this is the devil that. But when it comes down to the actual boots on the ground, you know what I'm saying, of building a nation, these are the things that must be done. As W said, I always appreciated them, but now it's more heightened. Instacart is all on the business say he gets good gold doing Instacart. Asiatic Mathematics said they deleted Alex Jones' channel too. And how does the Instacart work? Like they give you a percentage of the orders that you take or something? $7.93 said Instacart, FedEx, UPS workers supply food to your door when people are gorging stores greedily. Yeah, the stores are starting to hurt, man. Yeah, $300 a day. Or you shop for the people and deliver. So is it you just go to pick the stuff up, or you gotta go through the aisle by aisle and get everything? DoorDash too. Sanitation. That's what I'm saying. That's another type of thing where it's like, yeah, you start to notice now. You know what I'm saying? It's situations I've been hearing really all over the world going on with rats. So you go aisle by aisle and you pick up the stuff for them. They pay you for each order you deliver. One of the young brothers I know showed me the cards that they get paid through. Amazon Prime making deliveries at 4 in the morning. Yeah, that actually, especially now though, that's not bad. You know why? Because it's not a lot of lines right now, depending on where you go. But you don't want to, you don't want to get caught up on like one of those 2-3 hour lines at the supermarket. Said everything is in order by aisle number. So it's certain specific supermarkets that the Instacart works through. Yeah, hustle like Kurt Rambis. Kurt Rambis had a little bit of a bad stint as coach of the Knicks, so I don't really. Something he was doing over here, I didn't. Yeah, that's a little bit. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, to the naked eye. Plus, you got everybody standing 6 feet apart, so the line seems a lot longer than it is. But that's Instacart. D. Christian says supposedly they're forecasting this new normal to last until 2022. And while Pentagon talking about they got UFO documents released, so we got to worry about aliens too. Well, you know, I, even to say 2022, because let's face it, a lot of this is being fueled just off of the fear of the people alone. So, this thing could last until it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be people that never again, trust public atmospheres. You know what I'm saying? Kareem, Don Nelson. See, at least, I like Don Nelson a little better. Pat, I got a love-hate relationship with Pat. Mostly hate. All in the Business says CDC dropped the death toll. What they dropped it to. SW said it's the fear of the unknown. When it's gone, if it ever goes. I mean, where's it going? I'm just, but this is what I'm saying. The merits of that is neither here nor there. It's the actual fear of the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some things, like, this is what I'm saying. 9/11 permanently adjusted some things in New York. Time is not over, so maybe 100 years from now, they'll say, yeah, we don't do that no more. But it permanently adjusted certain things in New York. Like, it was certain places where it was free, you walk through there, on a shortcut going over there. Now you can't do that no more. Or just like, the airport, the experience has been permanently adjusted by 9/11. So some of these adjustments is going to be permanent. Because it's not even the system, it's person to person. John Daly said even when it first started, they said it would likely be cyclical, seasonal. D. Christian said the fear is media fuel. Most people I see living their life, but once the TV come on, it's the end of the world. Yeah. All in the Business said at least 7 states said the total of people that return is nearly 50% higher than reality. You mean 50% higher than they've been saying? SW said it's going to be a readjustment. He or she is too close, I'm going to get sick. Yeah. I even saw that, what I'm saying, a situation, where, was an argument, some people was arguing, and that's what it came down to, was that, the lady felt that in particular, because this guy was homeless, like that's another thing, like in terms of the judgment of people. this person looks like they might, have something. And then just the constant, what's the name of it? You know what I'm saying? From, SARS to MERS to Ebola to, all these different things. You understand what I'm saying? So now, it also comes to, well, even if, like somebody was said, when this is over, it's over. But yeah, what about the next thing? That's another part of the mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of Jasim just saying, it's gonna be seasonal, it's gonna be cyclical. Like now this is a measure of consciousness now that people have, that this kind of thing could happen. You know how you see little kids playing and they're unaware of the danger. Like they playing by the street, they're unaware of the danger of traffic. But then, once they become aware of the danger of something, then they could become too hyper aware of it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? To where fear starts to take over. Peace. So why does he fear the devil now that he's a big man? Fear what you hear, because fear what you hear, because fear of what you hear causes you to be in fear. The news starting to sound like a repetitive new age rap hook. D. Christian said it's a new way to target people. All on the business said it was said that the social distancing is lowering the death rate and is actually lower than reported, being exaggerated by hotspots. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the actual numbers mean anything. So explain something to you about emotions and reality, especially when it comes to statistics. Somebody could tell you that an event occurred, right? Somebody tell you, look, there was an event that occurred and 100,000 people passed away. If I tell you 100,000 people passed away, that would, we all people, we'd be like, wow, man, what happened? 100,000 people, man, that's not good. But that's not going to affect you as much as if I tell you one of them was a relative of yours. If I tell you one of them was your little sister, that one, the grief you deal with over that one is going to outweigh the grief you feel for the 100,000. That's why I'm saying the fear outweighs any number that they come out with now or at any point, because the fear has been implanted. So this is the type of nowadays that we dealing with now. as opposed to a nowadays in which we've received the knowledge of ourselves. Kareem said they're saying it could be different strands soon that it's evolving. You know, I've heard this too, Kareem. El Lowry said, I hear what the news is saying, but I'm judging by what I see as well. All in Business said the numbers are to pump fear. SW said it's already 19 mutations now. So, you know, that's to me, that's, you know, that's what's the most that's what's the most important part, you know what I'm saying, of what comes of this is the emotions of the people. The Christian, that's a dangerous kind of question. But the actual numbers from what I've been seeing is it's not the worst thing that's happened to humanity. You know what I'm saying? See, I think that's what affects some people too. I think that's what affects a lot of people too. That, a lot of people have these conditions. You know what I'm saying? Meaning the other, the diabetes, the high blood pressure, the overweight. A lot of people have these conditions. And so, it's the same thing, in terms of statistics. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we somewhere, again, let's say we at an event. And at the event, there's thousands of people there. Hundreds of people, let's say it's thousands of people. And then at the event, they're shooting. Somebody pulls out a gun and starts shooting. Somebody gets shot. Now, when most of the people get home, when 99.99% of the people get home, they're going to say, yeah, only one person got shot. Yeah, it was a whole bunch of shooting, but only one person got shot. But if you that one person, it don't, only is not the word for you to put in. That's not the description you're going to use. You're not going to be saying it like, well, it was a small thing at the end of the day because only one person got shot. So that's another thing that fuels the fear. Is that if you know that you got one of the conditions that's particularly, makes you susceptible, Yeah, he Kareem. I'm gonna leave that comment to you. But yeah, I did hear that a lot of things are getting lumped into the same category. First of all, because they don't have testing for everybody. So if you display anything similar, then they put you in that category. I mean, so far, the thing with the, pushing the vaccines on all people, that is, to me, the problem is that uh, they've got to use some more inconspicuous people. Nobody's letting Bill Gates next to them with a needle. So they got to solve that problem first. Divine Truth said one must weigh all facts and circumstances. Who is disseminating this information and why? All in the business says some are using this lockdown stuff to express their Jim Crow attitudes. I went to Denny to pick up food and I asked to use the restroom. The lady told me I couldn't use it and I had to go outside. Then she tried to say it was the Lord. So I used the restroom and got her name, called corporate, and got a $25 gift card for her misrepresentation of the company. She had the nerve to tell me that I needed to watch the news and that the governor made it law. I mean, yeah, it's price gouging out there. You know what I'm saying? It's Universal 7 asks if the worst thing that happened to humanity is the transatlantic slave trade, the devil leaving the Caucasus Mountains. If you mean out of those two, if I had to pick, I mean, these two things is kind of connected. I would say the second one, because colonialism is quite bad too. You know what I'm saying? And, that time period, from, let's say, approximately 1400, 1450, you know what I'm saying, to the present, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of, like for instance, the Congo, right, wasn't a part of the transatlantic slave trade. But that was pretty horrible. So, you would be leaving things out, I think, if you just things that's all related. I'm saying, if you just focused on that aspect of it. Kareem said doctors have been put on leave for speaking against the standard practices, respirators, etc. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's another thing. What I said is that you know, uh, this new kind of propaganda that they use, you know, is to give you so much information that none of it can really be knowledge because the information is too conflicting. So yeah, it's all that type of stuff out there. As W said, respirators are killing people because their heart rhythms and patterns aren't properly analyzed. They're just slapping them on and adjusting on the fly. Yeah, I haven't really been in the hospital a whole lot, so I don't even know how that works. Causes arrhythmia or irregular heartbeat. The Christian said, was Musa civilizing the devil a wrong move? We know he is 100% weak and wicked and there wouldn't be any peace amongst them, or is the 10th degree and 114 more applicable approach for said devils? Devilishment was already being done. It could be fear, the situation that the brother just brought up, for instance, right? Dealing with slavery, you know what I'm saying? There was already separation and wars and enslaving each other, you say it was a different system and all that. I understand that part. But I'm saying that it was already weak and wicked behavior occurring. Asiatic Mathematics said when looking up the word germ, it's an umbrella term used for viruses, bacteria, as well as other particles. In the lessons, which one would you say is germ? Now, when you deal with germs in the lessons, you're talking about germination. Germination is dealing with reproduction. You understand what I'm saying? So like you said, when you're dealing with a particle, in particular, sperm and eggs, right? They the only cells where your DNA break back down to only 23. So they're germ cells to deal with germination, which is reproduction. On the business said, lady at Walmart watched 20 people walk out before me and then asked me for a receipt. She said, I have to do my job as 10 other people were walking out behind me. Yeah, that might be a little bit of it. That might be something that I noticed. As W said, it's the improper use of the ventilators, not the fact that they're being used. So why are they not doing the testing? Like with the other thing, they saying like, okay, we didn't know this existed, so we didn't have all the tests to find out. But, why wouldn't they test the people that they put on the ventilators? Sim said doctors are being told to treat it like acute respiratory syndrome, but it doesn't respond to the treatment. The treatment is standard practice, so a lot of people are getting jacked up. All in the business said, I'm not sure about the physician science, but the hospital is known for accepting money for bodies. Man, Ford has a contract to make ventilators. Yeah, I was hearing about that a lot of different companies started making them. I don't know whatever came of that, though. Because, in New York, they built a couple, field hospitals. I heard they taking the field hospitals down now. Whatever happened, it didn't. Yeah, that's, But let's not get too deep into that topic anyway. Like I said, they take a channel right off of they take your channel right off now. So getting back to the 7,926. Did we have any more questions on that? And the brothers who, if you're not on the 1 to 40 yet, and you got any questions, brothers, that's if you're in the 1 to 10 or the 1 to 36, 1 to 14. All on the business said a grain seed contains the germ inside of an endosperm inside of a seed bran. Yeah, germs, yeah, that's seeds. I got this new program. I think I'm gonna test it out right after this, where supposedly people can you could come on and talk. Like, I could have guests. It's this thing called StreamYard. I don't know how you get on. When I get off of here, I'm gonna test that out. Some of my hardcore people, I need y'all to come in and help me. See if y'all could get on. Then we could start, especially in this time right now. I can't do, usually I would have gave y'all some after the class episodes and all that, but this is the class now. We We got no questions? Anyone? Bueller? Peace said when you was building on the trader and traitor, I see trait and traitor. Yeah, I mean, everybody got traits. Jasim said, is the priority fusion or learning the science of the earth? What you mean? Fusion of what? Oh, you mean fusion of all those layers? Can't fuse them. See, there's some things that's the nature of the way it is. See, like, you know, like they say with a rose, how a rose is a beautiful, you know, thing, however you want to describe it, but it's full of thorns. Nah, that's what you do. Nuclear fusion and fission, that's for the sun. See, that's what I'm saying. It's these different things. Anyone else? Why is the sun even tripping about what the earth is doing anyway? Because, you know, you want the babies to be the greatest. But it impacts the babies. The sun doesn't orbit the earth, this is true. But like I said, it impacts the babies. Divine Truth said, in reference to the universal flag, what is your understanding when it speaks about male seed in full bloom? What part is this? When it talks about male seed in full bloom, what is this, a particular degree that you're talking about? Where it says that? says the 7 symbolizes the male seed in full bloom. I mean, what's my understanding of that? You know, that would mean that his energy is no longer potential, is kinetic. But I mean, for the most part, that's pretty straightforward. See, Jasim, you know, what you was just saying in terms of, you know, why the earth and the different ciphers that she got to deal with is important. You know, when you deal with today's degree in the 1 to 10, you know, population. You know, one of the reasons that's in there, it's a kind of a scoreboard right there. You know, who's multiplying and adding on, and who's dividing and being subtracted from. See, one way to take the devil off the planet is to outpopulate him. You know, we see the impact that idea, we see the impact that idea has on them. In the way we born understandings is through the planet Earth. So that part of the understanding must be understood. Also when you deal with the useful land. You know what I'm saying? When you deal with the spread of the mindsets. You know what I'm saying? When you deal with Islam, when you deal with Christianity and Buddhism. You know, all these different things is a little bit of a scoreboard. Are more people in a certain cipher, in a certain atmosphere, are they believing in Buddhism or Christianity? Or are they dealing with Islam? Who got control over the most useful land? All these is things that's dealing with the planet Earth. That regardless to whom, the stuff you saying, that's true. But this is still our home right now. See, wherever, just like right now, right? Look, if they was like, look, they found some oil in Antarctica. And they was like, look, we found this oil, and some other people, another country found the oil at the same time. It's like a thing. So we got to go down there and fight. We got to go fight those people to get the oil. Right? I'm not going. But if some people right now come on a loudspeaker and say, look, we from this other country over here, and right now we about to come into America and beat everybody in the head. Everybody we find, if you can't, we ask you a question, you can't answer back in our language, we beating you in the head. Guess what? They ain't gonna have to look for me. I'm gonna be on the front line. So, saying that to say that, yeah, we the son and all that. But we made this our home, and now we on the front line of making sure things go right and exact here, because this is what we basing our history. The boss said to dealing with the science that Divine Truthfullah asked about the seven being in full bloom. The boss said that's Allah the Father who came out of the temple with the understanding in full bloom to reach out to the seeds to teach them. So we got a little 1 in 10 lesson in there. We hit the 1 to 40. Expanded some more on the teachings for the black woman. And we answered a couple questions. So, right now I'm gonna take this one down. Like I said, look for me in the next 5-10 minutes. I'm about to you came 66 minutes after I started, huh? You're gonna find out some things about the 6. You're gonna find out some things about the 6 when you go back. But look for me in the next 5 or 10 minutes. I'm gonna try to test out this program where I can have people come on and figure out how I can have some more guests on here. You know what I'm saying? Tune in with some brothers that got some high degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So we good here, everybody. Peace to the guys, peace to the earths. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all did the each one teach one for me today, and hit the like button. Yes, you only got. I could definitely use some. I could definitely use some help over here on the like button. But yeah, other than that, man, peace to the guys, peace to the earths, peace to all my guests. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that comes through. And like I said, check me in about 5 minutes Let me see how this works out with this program. Peace.